afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast from your host, Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda Hero, Strike Defender of the Fatherland. We're off here to an exciting 1 versus 1. On a crossroads between the south, we got Hector fighting for king and country for the 7th Armored Division, versus in the north, we got Casparitus fighting for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland, and the Panzer Division. We got here Spearhead, Mobile Defense, and Elite Troops versus Mobile Assault, Vanguard, and Royal Engineers. Panzergrenadier Infantry Machine Gun versus Sappers, Fireflies, and Infantry there, with an MD-42 Grenadier start here for Casparitus. Pretty standard stuff, with the Vickers section start there for Hector. Also within the standard stuff department. Quick sandbags here, he's moving towards the east. Vickers following up there. Pioneers, MD-42 moving westwards. Grenadiers, then we got another section away so far. No huge surprises going on then between either side. Going here for the house by that point. One set up. So fire down at those dastardly Huns. Or not. I don't like that house. It looks not very safe. What about that one? That doesn't look particularly much safer either. Well, you know, I like it more. It's rustic. What's that supposed to mean? Shut up. Then it's going to be moving up. Then MD-42 coming in from the other point. So there goes that. Going to apply some pressure around Casparitus' cuff point there with the Vickers. MD-42 covering here. Not necessarily the best, because as you might notice, there's sort of a lot here basically sort of covering the arc of fire, meaning it's overall not a very efficient firing position. But he's going there for the fuel point. He could lay down some sandbags around here to help cover it. Hector going for the fuel there, setting up sandbags himself to actually sort of cover his point. Also sandbags here. Overall, Hector sort of planning ahead at several points here. Very good work there from him. Back at base from her, nothing further. And we got a very early mortar in response to Hector's aggressive machine gun play. And of course the question is, might that actually be the intention of Hector, or is there something else going on there? Either way, though, he has nonetheless forced a response like this. He's also going for second Vickers. That's a bit rare. 2 sections into 2 Vickers. That's more of a German sort of build, you know, 2 Grenadiers, 2 MG-42s. Northern point there being secured using the MD-42, meaning it's actually nowhere close to the front line. That's not something I'd recommend there, because you want your MD-42 to be able to react swiftly to anything going on here. Mortifying the Vickers, point there being, again, sandbagged and secured. Pioneers moving up west there, Grenadiers moving back here. So his capping order is a bit what I'd call inefficient. I mean, he's sort of sending units backwards to capture the back territories, and he's not using frontline units. He's using frontline units instead of sending in the Pioneers for that as well, so that makes it a bit weird. There's a lot of back and forth here, which isn't necessarily too efficient, whereas Hector here, thanks to the machine gun there, has basically sort of pushed Casparitus on the back foot. It's now just sweeping ahead to grab a lot more territory than Casparitus. More Grenadiers following up here, though, for Casparitus and the Panzer. Point there being secured. Grenadiers setting out, and we got the second Grenadier squad here. Mortars still able to provide firing support there, and Vickers falling back towards here. Second Vickers nearby. And mortaring again. Seems like a bit of blind fire this time around while he's moving down his Grenadiers there. And looks like he's trying to fire there. In this case, got the second or the first Vickers firing up on the Grenadiers there. His mortar can't fire there because he's busy bombarding an empty patch of ground. Need to retreat the Grenadiers at this pace. Of course, we're going to try to hack the smoke ready here from the mortar, and that way could have smoked it out. Second Vickers is stopping the Pioneers. Here's overall strong point of machine guns from Casparitus. Mortar smoke here, pretty much I think being one of the more easy ways of just dealing with it. If he then goes for elite troops, he can then pop stun grenades through there while he rushes through the smoke, and that way flash out the defenders. So, I mean, elite troops would be a very good doctoral choice in response to this kind of move again, in conjunction with the smoke, and instead he's going to take the slow approach and just sort of try and bomb them out with the mortars, which isn't quite going to have the same effect. And there you go, he's moving about the Vickers within range here, so again, the other Vickers can just cover the first Vickers as he moves about. So yeah, not necessarily what I'd call the most super efficient move there by Casparitus, who has yet to take up this. In fact, now going for a sniper. He's going to really try and bleed out here Hector. Hector, on the other hand, is then sort of pushing ahead here with this double section, double Vickers, forcing responses, and then following up here with aggressive tech there. We'll have to see how that works out. MD-42 covering the cuff point there as Hector moves his men in for it, more supporting. Grenadiers, Pioneers over here, while the other Grenadier squad is now suffering up to the section, which of course was in heavy cover. And in fact, again, note all the heavy cover here that Hector's been placing down there, all over the place. He's pretty much just sort of slowly but surely been preparing the battlefield here for fighting against Casparitus. So whenever Casparitus attacks, he's going to have a very slow time of it, and it's not necessarily going to be very much in his favour, because at every point, Hector will have a sort of heavy cover position ready for him. So that's actually some nice foresight there from Hector against Casparitus. Casparitus really needs to take up in case he gets hit by an armoured car, but also bring out something a bit more aggressive. Flame for a half-tracks, but otherwise Panzer Grenadiers could also work out nicely here for Casparitus, who so far seems to be falling a bit behind here again. He's staggering under the heavy machine guns there that Hector keeps displaying and sort of just laying down against him. Grenadiers versus section there. Not enough, well, he doesn't have the tech for the rifle grenades. He's got nothing there. Mortar setting up support here. They're going to do sniper moving up as well. We'll have to see if Hector gets a sniper in response to Casparitus' sniper. Section there down to one man in a matter of moments. Sappers moving up. They have to be careful. They're going up against the Gundies, supported by the sniper. Pioneers guy as well. So this is not really going to be a good engagement there for Hector. He's just basically going to get shredded there. So there you go. Hector retreat before he suffers more manpower losses needlessly. Very good there. Nothing against the machine gun there. Again, a part of me would say, you know, he could also upgrade the Pioneers for the flamethrower, then smoke it, then rush up and try to attack round. Though, at the moment, there's a weird bug. If you do try to do it, at least that's what I've experienced. For some reason, they will not attack through the smoke. They'll actually try and sort of get up to a line of position where they have line of sight, which means they get into line of fire of the machine gun. It's a bit of an awkward thing, really. But otherwise, again, elite troops, smoke it, run up with concussive grenades, then flush them out that way. That could very well be a good option there for your Casparitus to consider then dealing with a machine gun, clearing the house, securing, and that way applying sort of pressure to Hector's sector and half of the map there. Maybe also steal the anti-tank, but instead, again, he's taking a very slow approach, the very plodding approach, which again also means he can't utilize the house himself at this rate. Sometimes speed is more important than actually getting the kill here. In this case, against speed, when it's sure he could actually rush it out at the very least, much faster. And much more under his terms. We got telemines down there, not a bad spot at all. We got a bit of fighting around the fuel point. In this case, he's able to utilize the heavy cover for himself. We got the saps moving in, they got a section supporting now, and not enough troops if they're going to do so. They'll be forced to pull back. We got a rough grenade here, and oh, excellent hit there, excellent hit. Very excellent hit. Almost wiped the entire section. Overall, he has pushed back the Vickers, but as you might notice, he's not pushing forward. He's just sort of holding back when he probably should be pushing, you know, advancing for the fatherland. Panzer Grenadiers here, or a half-track to support such an advance would be very good. In fact, a half-track would really help him. But again, sadly, there's not quite anything. Got the mortar here. Machine gun is not advancing. It's just remaining there. Which again, if he's really that concerned about the CoH point, he'd be better off laying down a machine gun bunker and then using the machine gun elsewhere. Again, as you might notice, Hector's using his machine guns more actively and much more fluidly, and again, they are allowing him to control the map much more aggressively compared to Casparitus' machine gun, which is passive, and isn't quite having the same effect on Hector, because Hector knows where the machine gun is. Hector knows that machine gun is not going to move. Or at least he's got a pretty good suspicion, whereas again, Casparitus can't say the same about the Vickers, because Hector shifts his Vickers. Alright, here again, a mobile, aggressive, fluid machine gun play is superior to just placing down your machine gun like some kind of, you know, very, very squishy machine gun bunker. In this case, he's actually able to threaten the mortar. Again, had the machine gun been closer forward here, the Vickers would have run into some troubles. Grenadiers bring about their quick retreat. We've got a pack 40 here for Casparitus. Vickers standing about there. We got take up here for Hector and the 7th Armoured, bringing up the tanks to support the boys at the front. Mines being laid down here overall around the cover. Good spot there from Hector. He was briefly considering on that side, but that's kind of like, hey, Alf, isn't that where we're supposed to stand as well? Maybe. I mean, in that case, he could risk being rifle grenaded and just getting everything killed. Going for the fuel put again, aggressive fluid Vickers play. In this case, a bit risky, but at the same time, if he's got an idea where his opponent forces this could work out. In this case, it does work out. So, sharp play there by Hector. A bit risky, but again, if he's sort of got the idea where his opponent is, it could work out pretty well as it is right now. Medic bunker up there for Casparitus, who definitely feels a lot more on the defensive. A lot more on the defensive, a lot more passive, reactive, and again, that's very much suiting, you know, Hector quite well there. And it is something Casparitus should be actively seeking to break, but so far, again, he's just sort of sitting back there. Which, again, is dangerous when he's losing control of his own fuel point, thusly handing over 2 fuel points to Hector, allowing Hector to breeze ahead in the fuel race, which is definitely not what you want to happen. Sniper looking for a kill, there we go. Robert dead. Men healing, reinforcing, nothing further here from Casparitus. No tech up, no doctrines. Vickers moving upwards there, and back at base for Hector. He can soon actually go for Centaur or Cromwell tank. Either way, applying a lot of nasty pressure there to Casparitus. Mines paying off there for Hector against Casparitus.
Supply line's been cut.
And looks like he's pretty much giving up on this, which further begs the question, why are you defending the cutoff point if you're not going to defend the territories the cutoff point is connecting to? I mean, that's really also problem number 2 here. Passive machine gun play also tends to be rather unthinking machine gun play. And unthinking machine gun play, again, is not very good. Again, that brings back to the question, why not just go for a machine gun bunker? Rifle grenade in this case, nice shifting about there with the Vickers. Again, this is where elite troops would be helpful with the concussor grenade. Instead, he tries to rush it but can't get fast enough past it because he can't stun it with the concussor grenade. Pioneers moving up. MD42 not supporting, by the way, it's just hanging back at a safe distance, but it is not actively participating in the move maneuvers, leaving the Pioneers pretty much on their own. In the south here, not much pressure here from Casparitus either. Section pushing upwards there. MD42 coming here, we got a Cromwell on the way there for Hector. Bit of armoured pressure there, section moving up, that's the Pioneers, Pack 40 covering there. Grenadiers advancing, MD42 up in the section, suppressing it. Pioneers moving back for reinforcement healing, sections, or sniper opening up in the section there. Getting some kills. And there go double Grenadiers here versus the section there. No light machine guns, which could have been helped there versus Hector's infantry. Hector, by the way, floating a lot of munitions, which you could consider going for some light machine guns there. Section pushed back from the east. Cromwell almost down there for Hector. Almost, but not quite. And section there being suppressed, but not quite dealt with. Pioneers reinforcing healing, and there go Cromwell tank out for Hector, 11 minutes. So that's only going to apply some pressure there to Casparitus. He's only got one Pack 40 now, seems to be abandoning this, which again begs the question, why did he even push there in the first place rather than make for a bigger concerted effort towards the west? MD42 needs to apply some further pressure, need to push forwards and support some infantry. Machine gun fire there in the section. Pioneers advancing with their Flammenwerfers. Come on, Otto, let's burn some Tommies. Let's burn some. I want to hear some scream. There we go, Grenadiers need to reinforce quickly, get pushing forward. Pioneers there, Grenadiers, snipers. We got a bit of support here from the Vickers still there. He hasn't dealt with that. Again, he hasn't threatened the house sufficiently. Pioneers suppressed, section them engaged. Vickers falling back there a bit. Good move there by Hector. Good move. Cromwell out there for Hector to support and counterattack. Commander on the way as well. We got mines down there. Overall good forward sight there from Hector, further preparing the battlefield ahead of time. Telemine still there. Opening up the Pioneers through the hedgerows. Pack 40 can't quite reach. Vickers there on the edge of the cemetery. And the Cromwell's basically threatening this area, so he can't actually hook behind the Vickers and sort of threaten his retreat path. At best, he can sort of, mortar a bit, maybe smoke. But there you go, Cromwell engaging here the Pack 40. And we got Doctoral Trust there for Casparitus. Mobile defense calling in the Puma here in a desperate gambit to help at least contain the medium tank there from Hector. Also a chunk of road sign there flying all over the place. Almost got the Vickers there if he can get it. That would actually be huge there for Casparitus. A wipe there would be good for him, but no. Vickers gets away there faster than now and get off the killing shot. And the Puma there for support, that is good. The Puma, by the way, was actually handed out. It's only a few Panzer divisions. The Panzer was, in fact, one of the divisions to actually receive the Puma heavy armoured car. Fun fact. Grabbing the fuel there with the sniper. No doctrinal choice there, though, from Hector as of yet. Repairing the Cromwell rapidly. Good work. Weapon racks available now as well for Hector, and we actually see a lot of Bren guns on his infantry comparatively. No light machine gun for Casparitus, though he's finally going for some Panzer Grenadiers, though these sections with Brens out, a machine gun more would also, I think, be quite helpful for Casparitus, and of course some light machine guns for the Grenadiers. I mean, the more firepower he can bring to bear versus the Tommies, the better, and I'm surprised he's yet to do so at all. Even a single light machine gun there could do a lot for him.
Damned enemies trying to take a point from us.
Grenadiers out in the open, should pull back towards cover. Vickers opening up. We got a lot of rifle grenades left and right here, doing some damage, but also a bit of whips there. And Hector's going straight for hammer tactics. That means he's actually got the Comet there in sight soon enough. That's definitely going to apply further nastiness there to Casparitus down the road. And Casparitus got a Puma, and he's got no further tech up there, so he can't immediately say go for a Stug in that case. Cromwell moving ahead, they need to pull back the Grenadiers pretty rapidly. Again, overall shot machine gun play there by Hector, very much on point again compared to... Well, there you go, he's actually playing a bit more actively with the MD42 by now, but it's still... Oh, Telemine, there you go, he's got a chance to finish off the Cromwell. Go, go, go! Lost Skids! Lost Skids! Panzer Grenadiers moving in, Puma moving up, there we go, misses! Ludwig, how could you miss? It's a big box! You can't miss that! There you go. Cromwell kaput, finished off there with another 50mm shot there through the rear compartment. Rear section standing about doing nothing. That's a bit of a mischoice there for Hector. He should have had them supporting the Cromwell. Instead, he actually hits a mine there as well. He really needs mine switches by. He has them, but he hasn't used them actively. And again, I mean, good work though by Hector. plus the 6-pounder gun there. But really, the mines there do a lot to minimize what Casparitus can do with vehicles, and in this case, armor as well down the road. So the mines a very good decision. Sniper there, apparently a bit of shock there from Casparitus. Where the Vickers gets the sniper. Huge losses there for Casparitus. I mean, he gets the Cromwell, but he loses the sniper and his Puma. That's not good. He's still got a larger force population-wise than Hector, but, at the same time, push here. Pioneers going to keep them at the bay there. Mortar joining in as well, the front. Panzer going to falling back. We've got the section ring up there. Need to get some support down, and need to get the MD-42 down there. Come on, Casparitus. Lost gates. Vickers setting up there as well. Panzer going to slowly bleeding up. We got the Pioneers for the section. Going to need to get a bit closer. Mortar firing down there. He goes. Section wiped up to half size. Machine gun sitting up behind the wreckage of the Puma. Panzer goes, section out in the open vest. That could be what, could be too what. And there we go. Wipe for Hector. Further staggering loss there to the British Army. The 7th Army is, in fact, really low in health. It's lost 2 sections with Bren guns.
They're trying to take it.
Whew, that was close, Dave. Not for the Minesweeper. That would have been Gutes Nacht Ludwig. And he's calling in a command tank right now. I don't think a command tank right now is what he wants. He should try and take up, but still the command tank could allow him to further pressure and get it established some dominance to make it a bit harder there. But still, he got a lot of wipes down there. Hector's right now there. Hector got perhaps a bit too confident. Either way, though, this is a great chance for Casparitus to get back into the game. Fuel cache would be a good job. They're trying to push it for more armors and also lay down some more mines. I mean, again, that telemine here proved critical, just as the Hector's mines proved critical in dealing with that Puma. Oh dear, got the Vickers as well. Hector's barely hanging on. He looks so strong, so vigorous, so manly, and now he is but a decrepit fool. His force is shattered before the wall of the Wehrmacht and Casparitus. More telemines there, good work. So this is pretty bad though. At this point though, what Casparitus needs to do is just hit the rest of the map there. Don't get too preoccupied what's about there. Hit the rest of the map, get fuel points, victory points, munitions points, just points. Get as much of a resource advantage as you possibly can, Casparitus. Deutschland needs fuel for its panzer. In the meanwhile, though, Hector is initiating a counterattack here with the Comet, which could actually cause Casparitus quite a problem, since he went for the command tank, and the command tank is what you call not very good versus the Comet. He's got a single pack 40, and that's actually it. He needs to lay down some more mines, but still, he needs to get working there, and that's Schnell. So right now, Casparitus moving ahead. He could consider using counter-attack tactics to help grabbing territory, and he also needs to take up again. He needs armor. He needs a Stug at the very least. 2 at best. Troops there again marching into the machine gun there behind the Puma.
They're trying to take it.
Nice position there. Actually, ended up being there for Casparitus. Mine goes off here. And he's taking losses, but he's growing here. He's moving ahead. He's rapidly seizing back to his camp, but again, he could speed it up with counter-attack tactics. It's a good ability, just rather underutilized, I feel. But otherwise, telemines, more telemines. Teleminen. Schnell. And he's going for another Puma. Now, that's a poor choice here. That's a poor choice. In particular, against the opponent's going to end up with the Comet. I mean, unless Hector misplaced that Comet, I mean, the Puma's not going to do much. I mean, this is pretty much Casparitus falling into the trap of relying too much on call-ins. I mean, again, with mobile defense, you can use it to stall for, say, Tier 4. I've seen some players do it successfully, but you can't rely on it solely. At this point there, Casparitus should have been taking out there. Instead, you're getting for a command tank and a Puma instead of taking up. So right now, the Comet here is going to have optimal conditions for just applying a lot of pain to Casparitus. In particular because Casparitus didn't lay down a lot of telemines either in between. Still, Hector's got a very small force, so there's still a lot of chance here for the command tank to do some serious damage there to Hector and overall stall how much the Comet can do. But it's still a very big threat there. And if Hector plays it well, it could very well be the centre here of a comeback for Hector and the 7th Armoured. There we go, Panzer on the decent running. Pioneers continue to grab territory. Puma anti-tank. Well, got the anti-tank up in the Comet. Needs to get the Puma close as well. If he get off a target weak point, he's sort of doing enough damage to the Comet there. He might have a chance to finish it off there. Sappers with Bren guns advancing there. Gonna need to fall back. There we go. Command tank, Puma, pack 40. Still needs to play carefully there though. And we got another pack 40 here. We still got no take up there. I mean, he's got both fuel points now, so take up there would be very possible there for Casparitus. Sappers taking losses. Puma, command tank down the prowl. Shoots and misses the Befehlspanzerwagen. It's actually time here for the mid-game analysis. In terms of damage, Casparitus hit. Kills-wise, Casparitus is far ahead. I mean, again, this was such a great start for Hector, and then it just went completely tits up. Army value-wise, again, you can sort of see there. Great, it's looking great, chaps. This war will be over by Christmas. No, it's not. Maybe. No. And compared to against Casparitus, well, again, not excelling, has sort of kept a more stable game and actually sort of managed to sort of turn things around there overall. Resource flow, a bit much there from Hector as well in terms of points. Still, again, initially great, but now it's Casparitus. It's the Wehrmacht that's leading. So really, for Hector right now, the situation is bad. And again, it's really kind of come down to him just playing his Comet really well and Casparitus not quickly taking up for some harder counters forward. I mean, if Casparitus, for example, just ends up relying constantly on Pumas and command tanks, he's going to lose. And if he takes up, though, he needs to take up fast. He needs to take for Stooks. I mean, in theory, he could go for Panther. The problem is, again, he called in too much stuff there. Pumas, 2, 1 command tank. And Moti should rely on 1 Puma and then sort of pushed ahead fast enough there. Well, have been faster getting at a few points, at least a few cash. Problem is, he hasn't. So really, right now, his best option is going to be getting up, say, a pair of Stooks, and that way just pressuring the Comet down into the dirt. I mean, he could try for a Panther, but right now, that'd just be a huge resource investment. In fact, in the same resource gap, by the time he gets there, I mean, practically another Comet could be available there for Hector, so it's not something I'd recommend. Again, double of Stooks is probably going to be the salvation here for Casparitus. Otherwise, lay down more Telemines. Try and minimize the free movement there the Comets can do there for Hector, and we'll just limit it what he could do in that way, trap it and annihilate it. If you can do that again, Casparitus should have a good chance of winning. As for Hector, again, it really comes down to the Comet and Casparitus making some silly moves, basically. Or just Hector really, really excelling. But he needs more infantry out. He needs to choose a doctrine, by the way. He needs to support things properly. And he always needs to just, don't do anything silly. So let's return to the fight and see what actually happens here.
Comet crew, awaiting new orders.
Still no take-up. Come on, Casparitus. Achtung. Also some Telemines. Also, you might want to space up those vehicles a lot better. They're in not really the best position there. Puma gets penetrated, but there we go. Comet as well. Command tank shoots, hits some barrels instead. Puma misses as well. Shoots, gets penetrated again on the Puma. Need to get that fixed up. We got big push here supporting the Comet. Very good move there by Hector. Repair the Puma. Schnell. Awkward over there with the Vickers. In fact, he makes a pretty big mistake with that one, just rushing in the first thing of that. But there we go. He makes a mistake himself. Hector, and again, moves the vehicles ahead despite being not repaired. He's going to lose the Puma. He poked smoke right from the anti-tank, but still, this is bit too risky. He drives straight up to the Comet. What are you thinking, Casparitus? Almost lost the Puma there. Need to pull back the command tank, and there you go. The Comet gets the Puma. Almost got the Vickers. In fact, he's got both Vickers. Pack 40 sets up there. Shot bounced. Oh, Hector's got like nothing left. He's only got the Comet.
Anti-tank guns is gone.
He's going for sappers now. Yet he's still fighting on, Bully. He's down to a single tank. And he's still fighting on. Either he's insane, or he needs to have a doctor check his testicles because they're swollen beyond belief.
Our supply line's broken.
White phosphorus shot there against the German infantry, pushing them back. Pioneer setting back, repairing there the command tank.
An engineer unit is ready for action.
And he's got bolter sections as well. He's getting a lot of sappers there to quickly repair the Comet. Still no take up there for Casparitus. No mines. Again, comparatively, I mean, Hector, when he had most of the map, he prepared. What is Casparitus doing? Nothing. Again, he's not grabbing the machine guns. He's not laying down mines. There's just nothing happening from Casparitus. Not even bunkers. He's not taking up either. Oh, there we go. Actually, does take up now, finally. But still, I mean, comparatively, there's a bit of a difference in how they actually approach things.
And we are down to 300 points.
There's a big difference there in how Casparitus actually does things. And there you go. It looks like he's grabbing a machine gun. That's good. But again, he needs to lay down mines. He needs to prepare the battlefield ahead of him because, I mean, clearly, Hector is confident in victory to the very bitter end. Either that or he can smell Churchill's sour breath on his neck and is afraid to actually call in the surrender at this point.
The ability is ready.
So yeah,
Engineer section is waiting
this is a bit of a rare situation. Fixing up the Comet there. Veteran 2-1, white phosphorus shields available. He's going straight for tier 4 again. This actually gives optimal chance of Hector to get back. Again, this is really the point where you just basically go, alright, a pair of Stooks is going to win me this. I mean, I'm not saying the Panther's bad. It's just, in just terms of resources and all investment and time, I would say the time for the Panther's a bit late now. Again, it should be Stooks. Very much. And he also went for Panther on the Panthermans. Again, he's really concerned about the Comet, but not enough to say just get a pair of Stooks and get the job done here and there. Just reinforcing healing. Vickers setting up the Grenadier support. Mortar getting assault. Need to move back the command tank there. Casparitus. Loss. And again, this is where the mines put a bit helpful than maybe slowing down Hector's advance. But yeah, Hector throwing on a lot of sappers. Got one Vickers back there under his control as well. Good work there by Hector. Command tank opening up. The sappers, Comet opening up there. Close and Vetty 2 already. And that's another one thing to know about the Comet. Compared to most other tanks, it veterans up very fast. I mean, that's really the one thing about the Comet. It really veterans up fast. I mean, if you compare it with the Panther takes ages to get anywhere. But the Comet, it actually veterans up really fast. In fact, even compared to the Panther 4, I would say, it veterans up really, really fast. That's actually one of the things going against it quicker than more accuracy, for example, which just makes it more lethal.
We have 200 points now.
And again, we're talking a Panther level tank. But you can get a tank commander who just in the first place gained more experience gained. And of course, better accuracy amongst other things, plus line of sight, allowing you to take more advantage of its range. Crusader for the command tank, getting knocked out there. Air support covering the southern half of the map there.
An engineer unit is ready for action.
More sappers there. Just reinforcing. Need to build up the heavy Panther core then, Casparitus. Schnell. And again, this is where telemines would have been excellent for Casparitus. And again, he's not trying to take territory. Again, there's a sort of just parts. There was a large part of his forces just inactive, doing very little to sort of, grab territory, just threaten the enemy. Tapping into the Vickers machine gun here. Not enough support, no response. We've got the mortar there, they're laying down a bit of fire. Heavy Panther co-op, and he can go straight for a Panther. Straight for a Panther. 6-pounder gun away there for Hector.
Tank commander awaiting next. 6-pounder anti-tank gun finished.
Sappers taking quite a bit of damage there. Sappers flanking, but Grenadiers there. Finally, by the way, upgrade with that machine gun. Took him quite a bit of while there before Casparitus began upgrading his Grenadiers there. Quite a bit of while there. Sappers push back here. Comet still bit T2. I think he's trying to clear out here the line of fire, basically ensuring the opponent can't creep up through that bit of bush there. Pack 40 covering there. Go for the sapper, or Panther, Casparitus, go for the Panther, hunt down the Comet and defeat it for Germany. There we go, Panther on the way.
Tank and crew ready to go. Comet ready to move out. Ready for instructions. Comet crew awaiting new orders.
Grenadiers in the fire there from the Comet, blasting away there.
New machine gun crew ready and waiting. Ready to motor. Heavy tank awaiting orders.
Point secured. Sappers moving westwards. Again, Casparitus to an extent digging in, but not very well again. Oh, there you go. There's finally some mines, but again, he's been very sort of slow in mining most of the time. Very slow, very reluctant almost. Sappers getting shredded there in the center, and there we go. We got the Panther up for Casparitus and the Panzer there. Panzer do Sean. Panzer Kampf Wagen 5. Telemine there dealt with by the Comet. Close to in halfway to eventually flee. Panzer under fire from the Comet. Main good use of its accuracy there, which again is going to be pretty high there with all the bonuses it's getting. White phosphorus shell there again, making things more further difficult for the Panzer Grenadiers. Very potent ability there. Going for the victory point there. Panther moving down. Pin up machine gun on the way. Mortify there against the Vickers. Panther Grenadiers push back.
Our capture point.
Pax and Panther going after the Comet. White phosphorus on the Pack 40. Good job there. Panther engaging. Comet gets a good hit there. Anti-tank are coming here. The Comet allowing it to pull back. Shot bounces. Panther on the hand does not bounce off the Comet's frontal armor. And the Comet there very close to eventually flee. Very close. Another penetrating hit there on the Panther though. Need to pull back for repairs. Saps there getting shredded on the west flank. Need to repair the Comet though he can actually soon go for another one if he wants to. Victory point there being resecured. Victory points wise, we've got a bit of a lead there for Hector. Casparitus should probably be aiming for a second Panther as soon as possible. You also need to get the first one fixed up and back in action versus the Insulaffen as soon as possible there. Gonna do M4 moving up to Casparitus in the west here, reinforcing healing going on, fixing up the Panther.
We're losing a capture point.
Pioneers on the fire here from the Sappers Cruise Vickers there. Comet there slowly approaching full operable status again. Panther same here. Pioneers pinned to the ground. He's going for a Panzerwerfer right now. I do not think a Panzerwerfer is going to be the right choice here for Casparitus. I mean, that's a bit silly. He's got a large force and can now deal with the infantry. He just needs to double down on annihilating that Comet, and that means getting a second Panther. Panzerwerfer right now is a very poor choice there for Casparitus. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. I really wouldn't say that Hector's force composition warrants a Panzerwerfer. Getting a second Panther here would be worth a lot more for Casparitus. Baker's out in the open, got a 6-pounder gun shooting, bouncing there. Comet moving about here. Panzers need to get out of the S minefield. Schnell. Bit of movement here. Going a bit of territory on the west there. Comet shooting here, trying to get some hits from the hedgerows. And there you go. Panzers moving up. We need to spread out. Pack 40 gets a good hit.
Enemy threatening a capture point.
More hits there. Panther going in on the hunt here. No, breaks off. Why does he break off? Why doesn't he just pursue the Comet there with its rear exposed and the Panther is nearby? At least some more infantry support. It's right there, missed opportunity, I think, to get some more hits in there on the Comet and perhaps eventually up his Panther a bit more there. And he's moving up the Panzerwerfer. I guess that was a misclick there, perhaps a rally order he'd forgotten. Either way, I really do not feel like the Panzerwerfer is a choice that makes a lot of sense there for Casparitus.
They're trying to take it.
Again, another Panther would be a lot better. Panzerwerfer barrage here, probably to get the anti-tank gun, or just shoots blindly here. Gets a bit of damage there on the Comet, but overall gets a few kills, and the Comet hits eventually. 16 kills there, throws grenades, increased mobility overall, making it a lot more lethal and a lot harder to deal with, and for that matter, a lot harder to catch down. So that basically also means he just lost opportunity to maybe finish off the Comet before it became a really big threat there. So now that thing is basically going to be Speedy Gonzalez with a 17-pounder gun mounted on it. That's going to be a big problem there for Casparitus to deal with, in particular since, again, he did not go for a second Panther, he went for a Panzerwerfer. In fact, had he not gone for that thing, he could actually have a Panther out, again, getting it at least roughly about now, at which point he would shortly then have 2 Panthers and then deal with the Comet, in which case the Comet there wouldn't be able to do much for Hector. Again, that Panzerwerfer really is a mysterious choice there for Casparitus. Really is a mysterious choice. Again, he had plenty of infantry support. It's not like he needed a Panzerwerfer. He even had his own mortar there. And now we've got a Crocodile here to deal with the infantry. In this case, Hector now might have a really good chance of completely turning this game around versus Casparitus. That's really something Casparitus needs to be worried about. And again, Casparitus has not been mining a lot, especially not telemines. Again, there's a lot of potential problems down here. And again, we got the better fleet Comet firing more white phosphorus. Dealing with machine guns and the likes. Coming hit another white phosphorus shell there against machine gun, or just a regular one. Either way, that thing is burning up. We got the Panther going up there. Churchill advancing. Pack following up there through the smoke. Can't see. Eventually 2, but getting too close to the Crocodile. Need to fire target weak point. Panther already taking damage, exposing itself to hits there from the Comet and other bits there. Need to pull back there for some repairs. Good hits to the Crocodile. No target weak point there, no. Panzerwerfer firing me, just actively more of help now. Does not shoot the machine gun. We got airstrike going in here. Units getting plastered with fire. Need to pull back the Panther to the base here. Pack 40 shooting, still no target weak point. Where is the target weak point, Casparitus? Where is the target weak point? And the veteran pack gets wiped. Pack 4, he gains veterans 1 there. Target weak point, please. Panther pulling back to the base there. Telemine there, which is supposed to catch up one tank at the same time, probably better around there. More rocket hits there on the Panther. Half HV2 needs to get repairs on it ASAP. More Pioneers up, Casparitus. Maybe a Puma to buy some time. Pack 40 needs to get up there. Ah, he's not doing it, is he? Don't know why it got moved up there. Guess it was a misclick due to all the frantic action. Panzerwerfer down. No Puma. No nothing there to be called in to at least support. Panther called in. Bring the Panther down there to anti-tank gun. Set it up. Get some infantry down there. Some Pioneers. And get ready to pop target weak point of the tie. Go through the front. No, don't move it. Don't move it. Don't move it, Casparitus. Just wait and target weak point. Oh no. And there you go. Comet gets the Panther there. Not even a target weak point versus the Churchill Crocodile. Not even a target weak point there, allowing his pack to just get roasted. There we go, we got raid operation there from Hector versus Casparitus. A few hits there, gaining electricity free. We got a grenade off there, gets the Panzer Gunners that he do dodge it. Going on a hunt there for the Panzer Grenadiers, rockets flying. While they are frying. Second Panther almost done there for Casparitus, but despite being in a near critical, situation, the Hector's actually managed to turn the game around there. Partly because, again, Casparitus, while floating a ton of munitions, never really utilised any of those munitions to repair the battlefield ahead. That was a really critical mistake there, I think, by Casparitus. Critical mistake. And that Panzerwerfer. Almost got the Crocodile there, Panther moving in. And gets the Comet. Gets not the Comet, but the Crocodile.
We've lost a Crocodile flame.
Need to pull back for repairs. We got Ostrom out here for Casparitus. We need some support for the Panther though. This is where regular Panzer Grenadiers would have been nice instead of the Panzerschreck ones.
Heavy armor ready to go.
Growing points here and there. We can see that Casparitus is quick losing a lot of ground there after he gained so much of it. A lot of weapons there standing around there. Could be recruited. He's probably going to use the Ostrom for that since they're cheap and fast to reinforce. Panther hanging back. Almost got the machine gun. And we can see that Hector's hard at work repairing up his Comet there. 26 kills. A real hero there of the United Kingdom. Ostrom Panther getting the sappers. Machine guns there being recruited. Need to grab the Vickers as well there. Or looks like he's more likely for the second Pack 40 there to further increase his chances versus the British Comet there. Panther moving in there to deal with the section there with his machine guns. Having some good success there, I think. Quickly gutting them with bullets.
Vehicles and infantry are ready to break through enemy lines. We're losing a capture point.
Panther moving about. Ostrom there needs to reinforce again, then grab the Vickers. Other pack though being lost here right under his nose. MD42 they're setting up. Might have a small chance that Panther shoots misses.
They're trying to take
it looks like the pack does escape there. Another machine gun there ready to cover up. Strong position here, which the Panther should not be trying to engage head on into. That's just going to end up in tears for the Panther crew. Anti-tank gun shoots for the ruins. Comet joins in. Panther there close to half level ready. Needs to pull out. He gets a machine gun, but yeah, in a few shots there, the Panther's already down to less than half health. Sappers there grabbing points. Troops here reinforcing. No healing bar with since the medic bunker got wrecked as well during that raid from Hector. Comet quickly turns there on it. Probably going to fire white phosphorus shell. There we go on the pack, burning up quickly there in horrific chemicals and murdering the crew pretty effectively there, annihilating it. 29 kills. Panther so far with 5 kills. Obviously has been on the battlefield nowhere near half as much time there as the Comet was. Sappers there being suppressed by the MD42. Panther needs to be repaired. Ostrom moving over to deal with the Pack 40. Units being murdered here by the Comet. More white phosphorus. Just delivering that death. Panther moving engaging and missing there the Comet. comment on the other, most likely won't miss there, due to all the accuracy bonuses, by the way, it gets. Plus, it has no penalty on the move. Smoke pop there by the Panther. And Panther down. Panther down, that is the remaining Panther there for Casparitus. Calls up the Puma. And there you go, Casparitus leaves the games. A loss here for Germany, a victory for King and Country. A brutal battle there with a lot of back and forth moments. And again, Hector staging one hell of a combat. Though again, it would have been a lot harder had Casparitus remembered, one of the acmes of defensive play, prepare the battlefield ahead of time with sandbags, bunkers, and mines. None of which really happened except for one S-mine field there from Casparitus, really, maybe a Teller mine. So, really, in that regard, Casparitus was too lax. Should have focused more on Panthers, less on Panzerwerfers, and overall should have played them a bit more wisely. At the same time, there's easily an argument to be made, the Panther needs to be better with the Wehrmacht. I mean, Hector was much more easily able to get out a Comet and secure dominance than the Casparitus was able to get out a Panther again. It didn't help. He kept calling in stuff initially again. Had he not done so much there, he'd probably been able to get out a Panther soon, and that way also stood a bit better chances. There were obviously some issues with the Casparitus side, but there's also an argument to be made that the Panther does need to be better. I might even make a video of that at some point to further examine what the Wehrmacht Panther could be doing better, because there's some notable differences between the two. In part, again, the Comet just veterans you up so fast. It's a lot easier to get to time-wise and resource-wise, and it's also a lot more accurate, almost has the exact same stats as the Panther, and performs better versus infantry. I mean, there's a lot there, plus it packs a lot more utility just in terms of abilities as well. I mean, there's a lot there, really, when you think about it. But overall, Casparitus, though, did make some strategic and tactical mistakes again. His early game was also reasonably weak. He was able to turn around again, punish Hector, but ultimately Hector was able to punish Casparitus because Casparitus just wasn't very strong on the defense there. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, why not subscribe, tell a friend, share it with everyone. If not, send in a replay and some feedback in the comment section. This is Imperial Dancing. Cheers. Thank you all. And hope to see you all tomorrow for another signing episode. Cheers.